Howdy, 8th grade. I'm going to start off this video by being honest with y'all. I left my pen at home, and so I'm making this with my finger, which is going to make it a little bit slower for me to write and a little bit harder to read. I apologize in advance. Hopefully this won't be too long of a video, and we'll make it work. So, inequalities with variables on both sides is what we're working on today. And I think that we already have all the tools to do this. We just haven't necessarily thought about it yet. So this should be pretty quick and we should be good to go. We're just going to jump right on in with a practice problem. And we're going to have 3x plus 2 is greater than or equal to 5x minus 4. So 3x plus 2 is greater than or equal to 5x minus 4. What I want to do whenever I have two different variables is to get rid of one of them. So I have two different options. I can either get rid of the 3 or the 5, which means I'm either going to subtract 3x or 5x. And just kind of looking forward a little bit, making some strategy here. If I subtract my 5x, I would end up with a negative over here, which I don't want. If I subtract my 3x, I'll get a positive over there, which I think would be a lot easier. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. Again, if you subtract 5x, there's nothing wrong with that. I just think this way will be a little bit easier, so that's what I'm going with. And I end up with 2 is greater than or equal to 2x minus 4. After this, I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And I get 6 is greater than or equal to 2x. There we go. And now the x being multiplied by 2. So I'm going to divide by 2 to get it alone. And I end up with 3 is greater than or equal to x. And I know I'm writing this really obnoxiously large today. I'm sorry about that. But it's just the way it's going to be, and that's all right. So I'm hoping that wasn't too different from anything we expected. But the answer we should have gotten here is absolutely 3 is greater than or equal to x. Or we could write it x is less than or equal to 3. Those are the same things. And that is pretty much it. We're going to see a few kind of harder looking problems than this. We might have fractions and things, so I'll show you along with fractions. But otherwise, this is pretty much what it's going to look like. So let's check this out. We're going to try 2 more equations as well, just to show you guys some more extreme examples. So we're going to start with, let's do 15x minus 5 is less than or equal to 3x plus 7. So 15x minus 5 is less than or equal to 3x plus 7. I'm going to start off recognizing I have 2 x's again, so I have to get rid of one of them. And just like I said last time, it's easier to get rid of the smaller one, although if you wanted to, you could absolutely get rid of the bigger one first. 15x minus 3x is 12x. These cancel out, and I end up with 12x minus 5 is less than or equal to 7. I meant to get one that has fractions here, so I'm going to go back and change this a little bit, now that I realize that won't have any fractions, and we're going to make this a 12 itself. There we go. Now we'll have some fractions, which is what I'm going for. So now we're going to have to add 5 to both sides, and we're going to have 12x is less than or equal to 17, and dividing by 12, I get x is less than or equal to 17 over 12. And just like that, we are finished. So that's not too bad, I hope. And we're going to try one more thing real quick, which is going to be the kind of strangest type of question we'll see here. So if I have 3x plus 7 is less than or equal to 3x plus, let me make sure I get this right, 5. There we go. Don't want it to happen like last problem. And now, if I want to solve this, well, I have to get rid of one of the x's. So let's subtract 3x from both sides. And what I end up with here is 7 is less than or equal to 5. Now, because 7 is not less than or equal to 5, that means that this equation will never be right, so there are no solutions. So if you end up with something that is not true, you'll end up with no solutions. And conversely, if I make a similar equation to this, where I have 3x plus 7 is less than or equal to 3x plus 9, where after subtracting 3x again, I get 7 is less than or equal to 9. This is true. I can say that x is going to equal all real numbers. So I could put any real number in for x. We haven't covered what an imaginary number is yet, but I can plug in any real number for x, and this will still be true. And because that will still be true, x can be all real numbers, and we're good to go. So that's the video. I know it's a little short, but I feel like this is something that we kind of already knew how to do. So I will see y'all in class tomorrow, and have a delightful day.